All right, so the next topic that me and the guys did last night is going to be the video version of it by myself. You guys can check that out on Apple Podcasts with the four of us. But the next topic that we talked about was the NBA award, our NBA award predictions. I'm gonna go over all the NBA award predictions that I said, all the predictions that I think will come true in the next couple of weeks when the awards are given out. MVP prediction. I'm going with Joel Embiid. I've been saying this for the last couple months. Joel Embiid is the man to win this award. Truly, I think it's a three-man race between Joel Embiid, Jokic, and Giannis right now. But I really believe that Joel Embiid is the man that should win this award. He's averaging 30 points a game, 11 rebounds, 4 assists a game, and he's currently the scoring leader. If Joel Embiid finishes the season as the scoring leader, which I believe he will, because at this point, the way how the Lakers have been eliminated from the play-in tournament contention, I don't think there's a point of playing LeBron James. I really think LeBron was the only player that could have stopped Joel Embiid from winning this award this year. I don't see the Lakers playing LeBron for the rest of the season because there's nothing to play for. So I think Joel Embiid's going to win the scoring title as well. And if he wins the scoring title, he'd be the first big man to win the scoring title since Shaq. So that's pretty huge. And I think that should be the icing on the cake if Joel Embiid's really going to win this award this year. I've been saying this for the last couple months. He's been so valuable for the 76ers this whole entire season, especially in the first half of the season when there was no other superstar before James Harden got there. Ben Simmons, everyone knows the situation. He was an absolute atrocious mess for that roster. Joel Embiid was the leader, though. He said he's not a babysitter. He's not being paid millions to be a babysitter. He's being paid to be one of the best athletes in the NBA. And he showed up. He bet on himself. And I would truly believe, and he's still putting up numbers with James Harden, a former MVP in himself. I really believe this is what really should go to him. He's been so valuable for the 76ers team that wasn't even thought of being contenders until Harden got there. But the way how Joel Embiid dominated in the first half of the season, that is his award to win. And if the committee gives it to Jokic, there's seriously a problem with that. So we're going to go on to Defensive Player of the Year. This is a little debate between the four of us last night, but I really think the Defensive Player of the Year should go to the man who should have won it last year, and that's my guy, Bam Adebayo. So hear me out. Bam last year in the 2020-2021 season should have won this award. The defensive stats don't lie. When he was locking up against players of any position on the floor, I'm talking about Bradley Beal, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Giannis, Joel Embiid. I can keep naming all-star players that this man guarded last season, and they were held to under 35% shooting from the floor, while Bam Adebayo was had a defense assignment on those star players, and really was a defensive havoc last year, caused a lot of problems. But fast forward to this year, I still believe this man should win this award. If I was doing the voting, it'd be back-to-back years he wins this award, but I'm not. I'm just podcasting for you guys. But Bam should seriously win this award. He's been invaluable for the Heat's defense throughout this season. And he's really the number one reason why I truly believe they're the number one defense in the league since March of this, since March, I should say. He's ranked second in defensive rating as players. That's pretty impressive for a big man. And Bam, he's averaging 7.5 defensive rebounds per game, a block per game, and a steal and a half per game. So that's pretty impressive for Bam. I really think he really should win this award. And I would say I said this last night. My top three in Defensive Player of the Year, I would rank it right now as Bam Adebayo. If it doesn't go to Bam, I would say Marcus Smart is the next man up to win this award. And Mikal Bridges has really done a really fantastic job, and I think he deserves that third spot. Definitely should not go to Rudy Gobert. If it goes to Rudy Gobert, the league is rigged with these awards. Rookie of the Year. I think Evan Mobley should win this award. I think he's been the true standout at rookies this season. We debated this last night as well. I really have liked Cade Cunningham's game this season. He's really showing in the second half of the season why he was the first overall pick a summer ago in the NBA draft. But you can't win an award because you are the number one pick in any draft, no matter what the sport is. You have a target on your back the first year. You're expected to have really high expectations. You can't start off slow, or people are gonna start to doubt you and begin to think you're an absolute bust. That's not the case for Cade Cunningham. However, he did start off very poorly, very slowly in the first half of the season. That's why I think Evan Mobley is the man to win this award. He's a great big man for the Cavs. Without him, I don't know what the Cavs' record would be. I don't know if they could be contenders in the Eastern Conference. I've said this also for months now, that the Cavs are the best kept secret in the NBA. And one of the reasons for that is Evan Mobley. Of course, they have a lot of other center pieces for their bright young future, but Evan Mobley has really been up there, being a key contributor for this Cavaliers team. He's averaging 15 points per game, 8 rebounds, and a block per game. This man really does have a future all-star appearance written all over him. He's a great shot blocker with great post moves in the paint that you wouldn't think a rookie can perform in the paint. So Evan Mobley is really a guy to look out for the next 2 to 3 years as the Cavaliers continue to be threats and continue to build a team in the Eastern Conference. This is a really bold prediction. I said this last night as well. I think Evan Mobley could be the best rookie out of this draft class for the next 3 to 5 years to come. I think between him, Cade Cunningham, and Jalen Green, those are going to be obviously the 3 biggest names to follow, following all the rookies this year from the rookie season. But I think those 3 are going to be the 3 standouts from this draft. I think Evan Mobley is really going to be more impactful and a better player than Cade Cunningham and Jalen Green. So that brings us to 6th man of the year. We were all in agreement with this last night. It's a runaway. If you can win this award unanimously, it's got to go to my guy Tyler Herro. He's averaging 20 points per game, shooting 39% from the three-point arc. He just had the other night, or what was it? Yeah, Tuesday night. He just had a career high of 35 points coming off the bench when the Heat destroyed the Charlotte Hornets. That's pretty impressive, 35 points coming off the bench. I said there's an argument for this man's future. I'll get to that in one moment, but he really gives the Heat a boost off the bench. A really key contributing player in Tyler Herro. To me, there's no other 6th man in the NBA that really deserves this award more than Tyler Herro. If somehow, some way, anybody else wins this award, I believe it's rigged. But what I said about Tyler Herro last night, I truly believe it's got to come to a point where you got to trade Duncan Robinson. I do like Duncan Robinson, but he's one-dimensional to me. He can only shoot 3-pointers and mid-range shots. He's not a good player to contribute points in the paint. He's not really a good defensive player whatsoever. You're paying the man on a 5-year deal, $90 million in the overall deal. I don't think he's worth the money. I think this summer they should explore trade options to get Duncan Robinson out of Miami and bring us another key defensive asset for us because we're stacked with shooters. And I think next year is really the year that Tyler Herro should be in the starting lineup for the Miami Heat. Which brings us to most improved player. That's obviously going to Ja Morant. I really believe he's became an absolute bona fide star in this league. He's became a great leader and an unstoppable offensive player. The way how things are going, obviously Ja Morant was the 2nd overall pick in his draft class years ago. The names that he will always be compared to in that draft class will be Zion Williamson and RJ Barrett. But last year we seen Ja Morant take a big step in his career when he helped the Grizzlies play in the play-in tournament. They got past the Warriors and the Spurs first, and then they got past the Warriors. Obviously, they got manhandled and destroyed by the Utah Jazz because they did come in as an 8th seed, as an 8th seed, and things didn't go their way. But obviously, the world was looking for him to take a next big step, but myself and the world included, I would say, did not expect this man to become an absolute star that he is this year, coming off of last season. I said it right now. I said this last night. I'm going to say it again. It's really bold, but I would say he's the 2nd best guard in the West behind Steph Curry. That's really bold because all the guards, there's Luka, there's Devin Booker, there's Damian Lillard. Do I think they're better? Do I think Ja Morant is better than all of them. I would say not all of them, but I'm saying what guards would I take as of right now, as of today, as of April 7th, 2022. I'm taking Steph, and I'm taking the ball and running with Ja Morant. That's how special of a player he truly is. Because of the way how he's truly stepped up for the Grizzlies, could he be in the MVP conversation? I'm gonna X him out because the Grizzlies have been phenomenal without him. Without him this season, they hold a record of 20-2 without Ja Morant. But they do have a legitimate chance of making the NBA Finals this year because how talented Ja Morant is and how much of an offensive threat he really is every time he steps on the floor. So if they get to the NBA Finals, I wouldn't be surprised this year. The final award, Coach of the Year, I would have to say, as much as I would like to give it to my guy Erik Spoelstra for the way out he's been coaching the Miami Heat this year, I'm going to have to go over to the Western Conference. I'm going to say the Suns head coach Monty Williams deserves this award. He's picked up right where the Suns have left off when they were upset, when I just talked about in the other topic, where they were up 2-0 in the NBA Finals against the Milwaukee Bucks. They obviously lost 4 in a row and did not win the NBA Finals. But that Suns team went through one heck of a storm to get to the NBA Finals last year. Remember, they beat the defending champions in the Los Angeles Lakers in the first round. They beat the Denver Nuggets in the second round, and Jokic, the MVP of last season, Jokic in the second round. Then they went on to beat Paul George and a Clippers team without Kawhi Leonard, unfortunately, in the Western Conference Finals. This Suns team has picked up right where they left off. They are currently 63-17. Yes, 63-17. Best record in the NBA by far. And they've been so good. They locked up a play-in tournament by the All-Star break, and the All-Star break was 2 months ago. That's how phenomenal this Suns team has been. And they've really, and Coach Monty Williams has really done a really good job. They've been without Chris Paul majority of the second half of the season. I predicted that this team would not fold. They would be perfectly fine without Chris Paul. His leadership would still be there off the court, on the sidelines, and they did a really good job, and that's because of one guy who's in charge of coaching this team, and that's Monty Williams. I really do believe this man deserves the award. But if, God forbid, if something happened, then I would have to give it to Erik Spoelstra, but that's not going to happen. Monty Williams has this award locked up in the bag. But that is it for the 2 topics of the video conversation that I'm having with you guys. This is going to be uploaded on our Instagram and Facebook and YouTube content. Apple Podcast, the audio of all 4 of us from episode 44 is already available on Apple. And like I said in the first topic, the 4 of us are going to run it back last week because I thought that was one heck of an episode with debating about the NBA. We'll talk about more topics heading into the playoffs for next week, I should say. Not next season, next week. But that is all the time I have for you guys. This is your host, Thomas Tyree, signing off. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. And I'll see you guys soon.